We start this bulletin with breaking news coming in. An ANC national spokesperson, Zizi Kodwa, has clarified the party position on Molefe matter. He says that there is a need to understand if there was deliberate attempt by the Eskom board to withhold information from Minister Lynn Brown. He says that the party is worried that the Eskom board may have misled Minister Lynn Brown. However, in a departure from the last statement, which questioned the state capture cloud on Molefe, Zizi Kodwa has praised the Eskom CEO's impeccable credentials and managerial skills. He says there is a need to deal with the issue decisively as early as possible so that these latest developments do not hurt Molefe's image and credibility.
Is that the incoherence in the statement since the reported resignation of Mr. Molefe sometime last year, which was later confirmed by the statement of the minister, that confirming his departure, resignation, the minister also confirmed her appointment of the acting group CEO, Koko. So clearly from our point of view, and I think from the point of view of the public, is that Mr. Molefe had resigned. And on the basis of those revelations, representations, the ANC in its internal processes, of course, had acceded to a discussion with its Northwest structures that Mr. Molefe can now go to Parliament as a member of Parliament. Of course, I doubt if the ANC would have acceded to that if he was now, what we hear, was on unpaid leave. So we got worried about those developments. What is more worrying is that it would appear that the board deliberately misled the minister. And we worry that our minister is misled by the board. Perhaps the process started in Parliament yesterday. The Parliament must continue to probe further questions, whether indeed the board was truthful to the minister as a shareholder rep. Because the minister, of course, at the end of the day, she becomes a face of what happens at Eskom. And if she's misled, it's quite horrible and terrible, and somebody must take responsibility of that.
So do you believe that Eskom's board is not good for people of South Africa? No,
maybe it's too early to arrive at that because we still need answers. The first answer, whether there was a deliberate effort on their part to mislead or to hide certain information to the minister. It's only when we get that information we can answer your question.
And also, Zizi, from the previous statement, the first statement that ANC released, even ANN7 ran the story, quoting some of the sources saying some people in the ANC, in the top structures, do not agree with the statement that you had released. Where do you differ there?
No, we clarify that issue. That was, when I speak, I usually speak without consulting the SGO, which is the Secretary General's office. So when I do that, I do comfortably, because I know I speak on behalf of the African National Congress. So when there were sources that, no, the story does not come, I just knew it's a fabrication. It's further meant to portray or to display divisions in the African National Congress. Fortunately, the officials through the Secretary General confirmed that that was a statement of the ANC.
And as far as Mr. Brian Molefe is concerned, is ANC questioning his capability as a CEO, the one many people are not talking about, saying he is one black executive that has done really well as far as, state enterprises such as Eskom is concerned?
Nobody in South Africa, I think, questions Brian's impeccable credentials. But also in terms of his managerial skills, nobody questions that. In fact, this latest development, they are damaging that credibility. That's why we say, among others, the recklessness at which some of these issues are being dealt with, they damage such an impeccable track record. That's why, among others, the sooner we deal with this issue in a manner that at least does not raise the questions it raises, it protects his own image as well and credibility.
Zizi, Minister Lynn Brown yesterday says they're free, anybody can call for a probe as far as coal contracts of Eskom is concerned. Will you or will ANC support a call for a probe in the evergreen contracts, big companies having long-term contracts with Eskom?
Not just evergreen. You will recall arising since following the release of the public protector's report, there was a recommendation of a further investigation, because she made a report about not enough time was made to verify the veracity of some of the allegations. She makes very serious allegations in the report. We said as the ANC, whatever further process of investigation, we will support that process. That include, among others, the allegations about how certain individuals, some of those individuals, of course, have now taken the report in terms of the court review, which is part allowed in terms of the law. So we would allow anything because we view any allegations that our democratically elected government is held at ransom by certain individuals.
And Zizi, previously once you've called ANN7 a Fox News. Now there are reports by some newspapers suggesting that ANC is soon going to have a meeting in the weekend where they're going to have a meeting where they're going to call for president to step down. What do you have to say about this? Is it confirmed that there's going to be a meeting where he's going to be called off as a president of ANC as well as the country? And do you think maybe it's a fake news? Is there a space for an alternative role?
It's basically fake news. Whenever there are divisions in the ANC, whether in real or perceived, there are people who celebrate. And they use that division to further deepen the perceptions in the African National Congress. The ANC doesn't have any powers to recall the president of the ANC. The president of the ANC is elected by branches of the ANC. And the president of the ANC, who's the president of the Republic, is not deployed by the NEC to be the president of the Republic. Is deployed by the resolution of a conference. So we have to go to the conference to amend that resolution. So there are certain things that even those who write, they don't know. They think that the NEC, because they say is a higher structure between conferences, can take any decision. We are also guided by conference resolutions, as we have a right to take resolutions, but at the back of our mind, we must always remember what does a conference, because conference does give powers, but there are powers that are also kept for the conference.
Yes, and lastly, Zizi, we've spoken to Mr. Marius Fransman. He says he's not happy with the way ANC, especially the AG's office, has dealt the matter concerning Minister Jeff Khadebe. He's expressed his disappointment, saying ANC has not treated its members equally. What would be a reaction?
No, we have no comment to make to him. I think he has made some statements which I don't think they require the response of the ANC.